Hello again, my amazing friends. Really excited to be back, honestly, with the topic from yesterday with the Irish American, and now today we got an Asian American, and yeah, she has a lot to say. We're gonna dive in deep. Once again, the Sinners movie that's out. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. It's got people talking. So with that being said, we're smoking on my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. And we're gonna go ahead and dive into this, and let's hear what she got to say. Here we go.
In theaters. I watched the movie Sinners in theaters last weekend and it was a cinematic masterpiece. So freaking good. And there are so many layers.
Yeah.
Beyond just the beautiful film, the beautiful storyline, there are so many layers that go into it. I'm not going to be the person that goes into all of it. But one thing that I did want to talk about and I can't stop thinking about is the East Asian family. Because what that family did in that movie and what it represents feels so relevant in today's climate and honestly relevant in a lot of key moments in our country's history. So in the beginning of the film, you see that the Asian family has a very good, positive relationship with the Black community. They know each other's families, they're doing business together, they're partying together. A lot of it clearly hinges on the Asian family profiting off the Black community. They are able to sell products, goods, and services. But then when you get to the end of the film, and when the van
Hold on. Let's pause it right there. What she said is let's focus talk about today. For those that aren't from America, if you come out here, you go to what you'd call so-called black, predominantly black neighborhoods, you're gonna see you're gonna see Asians heavy in there, selling all the hair products, selling obviously having Asian stores, Chinese food, like they real big in them areas. So even in 2025, that's it's still the same. It's still the same right there. So hold on, here we go.
vampires come and it's not so good anymore, you see that the Asian family is so quick to throw everyone under the bus. Another Asian creator who did a whole deep dive on this, I'll try to tag them, but he essentially talks about
We'll watch his video next.
how the Asian family was willing to sacrifice the Black community, aka the exact community who was doing business with them, who was helping propping them up when things were good, and instead of standing in solidarity with them through good and bad, they are willing to sacrifice the exact people who help them the moment they are disadvantaged. That one thing really made me think of the role that Asians have played in the history of our country and the way that we have been complicit in a lot of social issues. Of course, there's a lot of nuance and history and compassion I have for Asian immigrants and the reason why they did the things they did in this country to survive. That said, I feel like I can still be critical and see that the way that Asian Americans have really benefited from other Black and people of color advocating for rights in this country, and Asian Americans really leaning into their proximity to whiteness. It feels so relevant today with everything going on in our country and the way that I see Asian Americans, and I say this as a very privileged Asian American, the way that we are so complicit and worse, ambivalent to what's happening. There are other groups of people in the Asian community who aren't doing it, who aren't being complicit and ambivalent because of fear. They're doing it because they think that they're so close to white people. They do it because they think this will never happen to them. Especially right now when K-pop and K-content is so profitable in America right now. Do you not remember 20 years ago, Asian culture was not considered cool. It was not considered profitable. But because it is considered cool and profitable, we are all benefiting from it. But don't let that fool you or give you a false sense of security, and know that it is important that we should stand in allyship and in solidarity with all groups of people who are marginalized in this country, because we also are one of those people. I watched the movie Sinners
Okay, so
last weekend, and it was
that was a great message. That was Jenny Park on TikTok. Look up Jenny Park. That was very intelligent. I definitely like her take. Before we hop into the next one, I'm gonna dive in on that. It brings me to a memory with me and when I was growing up. One of my at the time we was like really close. We was like brothers. His name was Anthony, and we was in our hometown. We went downtown. We went and we ordered Chinese food. And as we were waiting for the Chinese food, when it came, we were like, hold on, we can't do it. This is a really real weird experience. We're like, we can't eat it here. Like, why is it we didn't order? We wanted to eat here. We wanted to dine here. And the lady kept going. She didn't. It was like she wasn't even trying to speak English. She was like, "Oh no, gotta like go. You gotta go. You gotta go." I'm like, "What?" They're not closing at all. Like, what's going on? We're like, all right, we walked out. And then I remember we went to the grocery store, which is not too far from there. We went to the gaming store. Then as we was walking back, we seen there was groups of, what you call so-called white people. There was people in there that was sitting there eating. We was like, what the heck? So she was pretty much saying, we don't want you here. Like, that was crazy. I've been through some wild stuff that I don't really speak about, but it's relevant to right now. It's like it was good enough to take our money, and but it wasn't good enough to for us to eat there. Another experience I had was there was this one guy who's actually a rapper. He's a rapper, an Asian rapper, and he had made this post. At the time, I'm doing Uber Eats in New York City, so he made this post about and he wasn't like specific on race. It was just kind of, it was like he was looking for people to pretty much do like a little documentary that are doing like that work in the gig economy, whether it was Uber Eats, DoorDash. I'm like, okay, I do this pretty much every day out in New York City. So I messaged them, and I got like on the email, and I got a message back, and they were like, oh, everything sounds perfect, and then they were like, are you Asian? I'm like, no, but I go to a, I pick up at Asian stores all the time, so I don't see what the problem is. That'd be cool in a documentary. Long story short, I never got a message back after that. Once I said I wasn't Asian, and I thought that was weird because it's like, as a rap artist, you're making, you're making music that you're making like he was making like hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like he was making like what you would identify with the so-called black culture, and that's what he was around. That's what he was influenced by. Those were his. So I it's like if I whatever. If you want to be just Asian specific, that's cool. But it's like I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird, right? I thought it was kind of weird. I didn't think that would matter. So there has definitely been times where I felt like, damn, definitely not to say I looking to be included, but it's like you just that unwanted. I just want I'll take your money or your style. I'll benefit from that, but I don't want nothing to do with you. Definitely felt that. Um, yeah, I had 8 people I was cool with that was Asian, for sure. I think it's specific groups. Like what I noticed is like people in the Philippines, for example, they seem a lot more like welcoming and loving, and seems like they relate to the so-called Black American Black struggle a lot more. Like I love Easy Mill's music. Philippine, they have like the best singers, vocalists in the world. I mean, and they're all like, they all seem like sweethearts, like very amazing people. But as far as like, you know, when I, dealing with Chinese, I've never really, like I said, I've never really had too much dealings with them to really like speak, other than feeling like get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you got what you need, get out, go. Like that type of feeling. So that was definitely represented in the movie Sinners. Even though her husband, I don't want to give no spoiler alerts, but her husband was he you could tell he had a different type of heart. That's all I'll say. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next video, because this is good. I love how this movie has people talking.
I watched Sinners and
Hold up. Okay, let me run that back.
I watched Sinners, and I'm not so sure if I'm the one to speak on this, but one of the many lessons I learned from it is there's so much power in shutting the fuck up. Come on in! What are you doing? Shut up. Why is your...
So for y'all that don't know what he's talking about, in a scene, pretty much the Asian welcomes in the vampire. She spoiler alert, she invites them in, and pretty much says screw everybody, and doesn't think about everybody else. She was about her own. It was all about her and what she wanted to do.
vengeance and anger so much more important than your solidarity to the black community who has been there for you, who has uplifted you since the very beginning? Oh, it's because you're only willing to participate if you profit off of them. As a store clerk. Now, there's a lot of history there. But suddenly, the moment you're oppressed, the moment your proximity to whiteness widens, you're willing to throw everyone who has supported you under the bus to get your piece? Look at you. That being said, I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
His name's Abe47 on TikTok. It's a lot of conversations. A lot of these conversations are definitely bringing a lot of people together in deep thought, making people reflect, making people be more aware of the present. A lot of people are being heard. A lot of people are speaking their truth. Whether you so-called Black American, whether you Irish, whether you Asian, there's America's the big boiling pot. This is where everybody came, and we all have a long history together. You had a lot of. What's crazy is I gotta find the site, but there was this site I was looking at one time, and it was talking about all the different like slave boats, and you could literally find like just different slave names, and it'd say their color, which was crazy how they would like classify people. Like you had just like it was like tan yellow, tan this, that, like just it was crazy. Like everything was about color and the shade of your skin. And I was seeing Asians on there that was coming in as slaves. That's something that's not talked about a lot. But a lot, Asians that was coming in as slaves. I was seeing some people that was what you call so-called white. That was like they was there. They was there. The more you search, I was just searching different slave ship names, searching and just looking at it, and I was just scrolling for like an hour up night, just looking, just reading. Looking like that's crazy. Like all the history's right in our face, and people still don't really know much. So a lot of groups, they just America, they did what they had to do to, or what they felt like they had to do to fit in to America, with America and with the system and with, being successful in America. And whew, man, the history is crazy. This has been some serious reflection. I'm telling you guys, that movie Sinners. There's a lot of people who uh, couldn't handle it, but it came at the right time in history when it was needed. Right now, we need that more than ever. We need for Americans to truly, start to reflect, start to look around at where everything is kind of messed up, so we can fix it, so we can be that America that we always preached was so great, so that we could help heal each other instead of just acting like things don't exist or gaslighting other people. Everybody's been through their oppression for sure. But there's a lot of people who are using, uh, that to on all over the place, using that as a way to manipulate others for whatever agenda they have. So we got to weed out the fake. We got to pull out the fake. It's time to pull out the fake. It's time to get the fake out of here. It's time to get the pimps and the master manipulators out of here, and for a better America, for a better future, for a better world. And that's really what I'm about on my channel. That's why, hey, as y'all can see, I love culture, and I've reacted to so much K-pop. We got to touch on K-pop. I mean, I've reacted to a lot of K-pop. I have a whole nother channel that's just really specifically K-pop, and the influence. Like for the people that do call K-pop people culture vultures, I say this: if they culture vulture and they doing culture vulture right, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm the way that the one thing about the Asians is they just know how to master things to a whole nother level. It's incredible. But K-pop, I definitely they know that though. They know where that sauce come from. They know. That's something that I've heard a lot of people, a lot of K-pop fans say in my comments. Like it was never no, from what I seen, it was never no argument of like this didn't come from you guys or this didn't come. No, it was like, oh no, we know, like it was always like a pay and homage thing. Even though others may feel differently, like it's just stealing. But from what I've come across as far as K-pop fans, it was always like a felt like a pay and homage, or just that's what it was. That's how I felt. I never felt like a hatred. I feel like a lot of them Asians really love rap music. Like really, really like just it's incredible what they can do over there and what they can master. Uh, definitely, me personally have a lot of love for Asian culture. For sure, for sure. But with that being said, original link in the description. If you enjoyed this, definitely don't hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. And yeah, we diving into real topics this week, y'all. It's just that's the energy of the world right now. On my page, I am a variety channel, so you never know. I might have music one day. Matter of fact, I'm doing a music reaction coming up soon. Coming up soon. With that being said, much love, y'all. Enjoy your day.